So here we have Becky Tyler, professional power skating coach, taking an athlete through some skating and talking through the points that connect directly back to the importance of fitness training.
As a technical skating coach, what I'm looking for before we even begin to get into detailed edge work is a proper skating stance. So here we have the athlete taking a ready to skate position, essentially a squat. My eyes are always going to the feet and ankles first, as the muscles surrounding this joint are crucial skating muscles that often are forgotten about within the foot and calf. From here, I'm looking for what we call a triple flexion position between the ankle, knee, and hip, ensuring a stacked prep phase before any pushing movement is going to be achieved. We're basically working our way up the kinetic chain from ground up, as these 3 points will all line up once the player goes into the extension phase of their skating movements. From that skating squat position, it's important to incorporate movement in the frontal plane. So taking the athlete through a lateral sliding motion helps them to understand the connection between flexion to extension of the pushing leg, in addition to ensuring they're maximizing blade coverage and pressure into the ice. The athlete is able to calibrate and adjust with ease based on how balanced they feel through the push and the shuffle. This is also an exercise often seen in a dynamic warm-up that translates nicely onto the ice. As we progress into the actual push phase of a stride, we're continuing to emphasize the push prep position with pressure of the full foot and blade into the ice before we hit the triple extension position of the actual stride itself. The skating mechanics of this movement get broken down quite a bit by skating coaches, as it's not a natural functional movement that we use every day. It differs slightly from our normal walking stride mechanics off the ice, and that's why it's important for fitness coaches and strength and conditioning coaches to be able to train this movement off the ice first. It gives the athletes more of a visual approach to the learning with less pressure and distraction by sliding around on the slippery surface. Here you can see as I cue Marco through the stride position and ask him to externally rotate his hip a little more, you'll notice his front leg begin to turn in the same direction. He's still achieving a good triple extension position of the right leg from the ankle, knee to hip, but something like this can be easily fixed in the gym setting, where I would want the strength coach to work on counter rotation exercises with him, as well as disassociation between his right and left sides, as well as his upper body and lower body. Once again, these key skating positions improve by growing the related muscles surrounding those 3 joints: ankle, knee, and hip extension, glute activation, knee stabilization through the quads of the standing leg, and abdominal rotation all can be trained prior to hitting the ice.
Okay, so we're just going to talk about ankle flexion and how we work to get down through our head. So like we showed in the video, our on-ice instructor, Becky Tyler, she's working on trying to get the players' ankles over their knees, all right, to create that nice ankle flexion bend to maximize the blade on the ice. Right, at the same time, we want to be low through our hips, in line with our heels, our calcaneus, so all in alignment, so that it can still have that upright feeling, so we can still have great visual. So right here, some of the exercises we can do off the ice to help prepare our athletes on the ice is work on that ankle flexion. So one of the drills we're going to do today, Marco's going to get down in the lunge position. What he's going to do here is he's going to try and get his toes as close as he can to the wall. And as he does that, he's going to drive his knee forward to touch his knee to the wall while still keeping his heel on the ground, okay? Keeping it elongated so we get a nice stretch to the iliopsoas, all right? Once you notice that he has that range, we're going to force him to come back. So if Marco, you can stand in that position. And as you see, he's going to stay upright. Moves his knee forward as far as he can without getting his heel off the ground. Now you notice there's a slight movement, but not much. So he's got nice room here, nice elongated. We're going to get him to engage his transverse abdominals and engage right here. So we get rid of that pelvis tilt, nice long spine. And once we realize that we get that, we're going to challenge ourselves a little bit more. And now he's going to take a half an inch back, step back, good, and create that space. So we got a thumbnail space. Now he's going to work to get that range again.
As long as we're not compensating at the ankle, knee, or hip in order to get our knee to the wall, the athlete can continue to take a step back each time through the process.
All right, so we don't want to cheat coming forward. Keep that nice body posture, making sure the heel stays on the ground, and we can challenge ourselves and going from there. So what we can do is we're going to work on the squat retrainer. Squat retrainer is going to take that same ankle flexion, but work on keeping our athlete to get rid of that big arch in their spine, create that pelvis tilt, get those glutes firing, working on the wall to maintain that range of motion and get that nice depth that we're looking for skating stance. So what Marco's going to do here, he's going to have his hands on the wall, both pointing inward towards themselves, all right? And like we talked about, right now you see I got that big arch in my spine. I'm going to rotate my hips by engaging my transverse abdominal, lower abdominals, okay? And then from there, I'm going to work to squat down as far as I can, keeping that motion, driving my knees forward while still keeping that flexion and getting down as far as I can, all right? Here goes Marco. Palms in, set. Good. I see he's got good range, all right? He's able to come through, comes back up. The heels are staying on the ground. Now, as you watch when he comes down, you see this little arch here in the spine. We want to just get him to rotate those hips over, okay? And now, give a little cough, helps to engage that transverse abdominals, and now we can drive down. Drive down, drives down. See, that comes a little bit more challenging. Right there, you see that little butt wiggle. That's where we probably want to stop, okay? Engage there and come back up. Nice. And then we work to get that range of motion over time, get a little bit deeper and deeper while keeping that flexion. Good job. So we're just continuing on here. Right now we're going to work on stabilizing our VMO, making sure that we have a nice, strong VMO. We're just going to keep our knee in alignment while having that transitional rotation in our upper body. We have that skating and lengthening the arm, and rotating back, as we noticed Coach Becky discussing earlier today. So what we need to happen here is we're going to have a band that's going to put resistance on the inside of our leg while we turn that trunk rotation. We want to fight the band from inverting our knee and having a nice strong base here, while keeping a nice strong depth with our back foot. All right, pushing our calcaneus away, loading through the iliopsoas, feeling that full weight of our foot on the ground, grounding our big toe, which is going to act like if that blade is on the ice, while still keeping that nice flexion on the of our knee band in line with our toe, and then work through that rotation. Working through that rotation, keeping the legs steady. Now you can do this exercise with nothing in your hands, with just a ball, and work with that. What the band's going to do is allow us to feel a little bit more. I like to have the band on our athletes because it lets them feel a little bit more and work, stimulate the mind to work to push that leg outwards and stay in that nice strong position. So here we go. Take the band here. I want it on the knee. All right. Now slide out till there's that tension. Good. Right. Now we got our tension. Right, nice right there. Get set in position. Back foot's grounded. Notice his ankle's completely on the ground. Knees slightly forward. Create that nice ankle bend. Right. Still got alignment from his heel to his knee, to his hip, to his shoulder. Engaging his core. Take the ball, put it in his hands. Good. Once your athlete's set in this position, they understand what they're supposed to feel. You allow them to take that half foot off the ground. Yep, right there. Good. Now they just stabilize there. He's going to begin to rotate. So rotate to your left. Good. And pull back. Good. And as he rotates, he's going to exhale his breath. So rotate, exhale, get that range, drive back. Now you notice as he's sliding, he's slowly coming back forward. So I'm just going to guide him a little bit to move forward a bit. Good. Hold that position. Stabilize. Control the hip. Don't let it tuck in. Keep everything in alignment and rotate. One more. Good. All right. Thank you. Now we're going to work on the adductor and abductor. So we want both the inversion and eversion. Inversion and eversion. So what's going to happen is we're going to do the exact same thing. Stay in the same position but switching legs. So now his right leg will do the same thing. All right. On this leg, all right, we're trying to avoid the eversion. all right, by keeping his leg stabilized in front. And he's gonna move out until there's resistance still. Great, good, nice, takes the slack off the band. Proceed to do the same thing on that rotation. Hips out, good, rotate through, good. Now you see the band, the knees kind of slightly pulling out. So as he's gonna rotate, he's gonna put a little pressure inward as he rotates. Good. Again. Perfect. Awesome. Thank you. So you do, 5 to 7 reps on each side, 3 to 4 sets as a practice to really work on stabilizing the core muscles, like trunk, core, rotational core muscles, right? Stabilizing the VMO, getting that nice ankle flexion bend, and your constant routine. And these are some exercises that are going to help translate to help your coach, your on-ice coach, with their skating modalities on the ice.